Alright guys, so far this holiday season we've talked about Watch Dogs and a little bit about Assassin's Creed, more to come about that later, and so far both of them have been pretty good. And so all we have left is Call of Duty and Cyberpunk. And so today we're going to be talking about the Cold War, just the campaign, talk about multiplayer and zombies in a whole other video. But the campaign, and I'm just going to focus on the story because that's going to take long enough. The gameplay, we'll talk about a little bit. Graphics, it's a Call of Duty game. It looks like Call of Duty. And so if I sound like I want to kill myself making this video, it's because I hate this game so much. But let's get into why. So, the game opens up with a very cool opening. And if you've played Black Ops 1, you can recognize the opening. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll show you.
You sure we can trust the police, Adler?
This guy's done more for less. He'll look the other way.
So if you don't know, that later scene is directly out of Black Ops 1, and so that's a really cool way to start the game. But it basically just goes downhill from here, and I probably will end up getting out of order, just because when I played this in one sitting, and it all kind of blends together, and two, because I'm going to get so frustrated that I'm just going to start jumping all over the place. And so the game starts out with a okay mission, right? It's not a great first mission, but it's good, it's fine. You're running through the rooftops with Woods and Mason, Adler, and all of that. It's cool. And then get to the end of the level, and there's some dialogue options that you choose, and Mason does not say, which severely pissed me off. And so relatively shortly after, it cuts to this screen where you get to create your character. And this was leaked earlier. I knew this was happening, but I kind of was just hoping that it was fake. But this is the thing. It doesn't matter at all. They don't call you by the name you make. These perks don't really matter that much. Where you're from does absolutely nothing. The accent you grunt in, I guess, changes. Your skin color just changes your hand color. You know, all this really changes how your hands look because you don't see your character. And so this is stupid. Make a main character that has, a set look. That way you can get attached to him. You can get attached to a character that you can't see. And this is just the start of the stupidness. Alright, it gets worse. So let me just get straight to my point, I guess. Alright, so there's a couple of levels, and one of them is really early on that mirrors Black Ops 1. And when I say mirrors, I mean especially this one is almost an exact duplicate of a level in Black Ops 1. A really good YouTuber made a 50-some minute video like a week ago talking about and recapping Black Ops 1 and 2, and if you go watch that, card up in the corner, that you will see this right here, you're about this point right here is literally in Black Ops 1. And so this really pissed me off early on, right? Because this is the first or second level of the game. And by the way, there's going to be spoilers in this video. And so this is the first or second level of the game, right? And so this really pissed me off at first. And as I started to get further and thinking about it more and more, how I looked at that kind of changed in a good way and a bad way, I guess you could say. And as the mission continues, you will see another repeated sequence that is directly from Black Ops 1. And so this was my problem with the game at first. This made me really mad within the first 2 or 3 hours of playing the game. Right? I was like, they're just going to copy Black Ops 1 and do the same thing Black Ops 1 did. But honestly, after playing the whole game, I wish they would have just done that. Because this is not better. Alright? And so, if you haven't figured it out yet, my problem with this game is that the only enjoyable levels are the levels that are just nostalgia levels. Right? Because we're going to get into spoilers here now. And so the whole game, the whole thing it does, is it gives you, not this level, I don't really have clips of the crappy levels because I was falling asleep on them, but what it does is it gives you these really crappy levels, and it waits right till you're about to get bored, right? It waits right till that tipping point where you're like, alright, I'm done with this, and you shut the game off. And then it goes Woods, Mason, Kravchenko, Steiner, and it just starts throwing people in, throwing names, popping names up that have meaning to you, that you care about, so that you stay hooked into the game, right? And then they don't do anything with them, right? Don't get me wrong, it'd be cool if they actually did stuff with any of these people, but no, they're just there to keep you playing, so that you see if they're going to do something with them, and they never do. Again, this mission right here that you're seeing, this is probably my favorite mission in the game. And you know why? Because it takes the two main characters that I care about and puts them in a place that I care about. Right? If you don't know what's happening, this is Woods and Mason, and this is the array from the mission Black Ops 1, where you freaking rappel down as Hudson and Weaver and you shoot through the glass, and you have the freaking, and Weaver throws the tomahawk at that dude, and you have the crossbow with explosive bolts. You know what level I'm talking about. And that's cool. You run through the level and you get to see all of the stuff. There's dead people with crossbow bolts in them. There's bows laying around that you can pick up. It's really cool because it's a flashback kind of to Black Ops 1. And that's what I really liked about some of these levels. The problem is, there's only 2 of them. And the rest they gotta fill in, right? So, like I said, they really give you these cool Mason Woods levels that you want to play, just to keep you playing the other crappy levels. And this gave me a very Last of Us 2 feel to me, right? In a way, not in a major arcing Last of Us 2 thing, but a minor problem with The Last of Us 2 was that the side mini missions with Joel and Ellie that are flashbacks, I guess flashbacks in a flashback, but that are flashbacks of when Joel and Ellie are together, those are really good. If the whole game was that, the game would have been amazing, right? That's what everybody wanted, another Joel and Ellie game. And they do the same thing here. They give you these Woods and Mason missions that are really good, but there's very, very few of them, and they're very short. So it's like the potential and the plan for what could have been good is there. They just chose not to follow it and go this other way. That's absolutely terrible. But I have to talk about why the other way is absolutely terrible. So let's get into that, I guess. So obviously this game has returning characters like Mason, Woods, and Hudson. But more importantly, and what they focus on, is these new characters that they introduce, right? Adler, who is Vietnam Man. Your character Belle, which is whoever you want it to be, doesn't matter. And then Black Man, White Girl, and Spanish Man. Alright? Their names are not important. They don't do anything. They don't really have personalities. There's one character building scene in the whole game. Right? So that's what I'm calling them, because I don't even know their names. I'm pretty sure the black dude's name is Sims. I think. I don't know. And so they have nothing, redeeming about them. And as you get to the end, and again, I'm trying to push the spoilers further into the video, as you get to the end, they're even less redeemable characters, and I'm glad I made the choice I made. And so, again, you are here not playing as Woods or Mason, not playing anything related to Black Ops 1, but in order to keep you engaged and keep you interested, they have to throw a whole bunch of Black Ops 1 stuff in there. For example, this is Kravchenko's office, right? Kravchenko is at a level of this game. And so you're trying to figure out this code to open this locker that has Nova 6 in it. This is really cool. But this isn't even a side activity on a mission, right? Missions have main and side activities, and this isn't even one of those side activities. I voluntarily explored up here on my own. So maybe 5%, probably even less, of people who play this campaign will even find this room. Right, so I explored up here on my own, solved this puzzle, and did my thing, and got the Nova 6. And so, my problem with that is, again, all of the new stuff sucks, but all of the old stuff is really good, and they just put it in there to keep you playing. For example, the game tries to make you make a Battlefield 4 style choice of saving one of the new characters over one of the other new characters. This is spoilers again. And so in my particular situation, I chose to save neither of them because I don't care. I didn't even know their names. I don't know who you are. I have no attachment to you. So I just let them both die. And that's another problem this game has, right? Is it tries to be something that it's not, right? And so Call of Duty typically is your run and gun, over the top action movie shooter, right? It is not a exploration, choice-based dialogue option RPG game, okay? But that's what it tries to be. And while Black Ops 2 had choices and multiple endings, that worked because the choices, one, actually impacted what happened in the story, right? Here, it doesn't really matter what you choose. It practically gets you the same result, right? And then within Black Ops 2, one, this is just a small thing. Whenever you picked an option, your character actually spoke. And this, if you pick an option, it's just assumed you said something, and the other person just talks. So that's very annoying. I hate that. But again, that's just me. And a lot of the dialogue options where they're trying to give the player any kind of semblance of choice, you think you're making this really important decision on what to say so that you can get into this place or not get caught, but you end up just picking all three options anyways, and it results in the same exact cutscene, and you don't miss any information. It doesn't matter if you picked this first or this first, you end up picking all of them. So now let's talk about the game's side missions, and I guess we'll call them side missions because there's two of them. And so what this game tries to do is have you collecting evidence throughout the levels in order to get more intel to do these side missions and get better results, right? And so on the board, if you're playing the game, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's a side mission on the bottom of the board and a side mission on the top of the board, okay? The side mission on the bottom of the board, right? No clue how you get that intel, no clue where to find it. It does not matter, you can still complete the mission. Just do it. The top board. This is what pisses me off about this game. Call of Duty is not a Mission Impossible game. It is a shooter, first-person action game, okay? And what they try to do, right, unless you are the most attentive person ever and are scanning every single inch of the wall in every single level for evidence, listening to Woods scream at you to hurry up while you're scurrying through papers trying to find a newspaper clipping, right? Unless you're that person, then you have to replay levels. And nothing's worse than making me replay something I already hate. And so you're replaying levels multiple times because you don't know what the fuck you're looking for, right? You just know that you're missing these 4 pieces of evidence in order to do this side mission. And they don't tell you what mission's on, so unless you Google it, you're playing every mission over again until you find it. And so some evidence does give you a mission, but some others don't. And so let's talk about this Operation Chaos side mission. So you have to collect evidence from multiple different missions. You probably have to play the missions over and over again. And then once you do that, you have these pieces to decipher. So I'm going to break it down for you how you do it really quickly. It's not too complicated. If I can figure it out, you can figure it out. So what you're going to do is you're going to need the newspaper, the code, which is what's on screen now, and then this list of cities. I almost said states. And so let me break it down, right? Click on the newspaper first, and this is me attempting to figure it out, so don't follow what I'm doing on screen. You click on the newspaper first, and it's going to highlight a bunch of red letters. Then you go over to the list of states, right? And you see which one of those states you can make out of the red letters, or an anagram for a state. They're not in order. You have to look at them and see which state or city you can make out of the list. And so once you do that, you now have the code. The code requires a PIN and a passphrase. So you get your city from the newspaper and look at the numbers to the right of it. That 4-digit code is now your PIN, the first thing it's going to ask for. Okay? You following? Good. So from there, you're going to go to that coded sheet, that blue and red coded sheet, right? And you want to look at the question marks on that row of numbers. Okay, so for example, your red numbers could be 2 blank 6 8. The blank will be 0 4 because they're going up by 2. And then the blue numbers could be 4, 8, blank, whatever, 16, right? Going up by 4, whatever, you get the point. It's going to be more complicated than that, but essentially you solve that and you get these two numbers, right? And keep in mind that if it's a digit below 10, it's a 0 something, so 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. So you take those two numbers, the first number from the red and the number from the blue, and you go back to the list of cities, and you see those, you can get 4 digits from that coded message, and those 4 coded digits align with a city, and that is your passphrase. So you take the newspaper, right, summing this all up for you. Newspaper, unscramble it with the list of cities, and turn that into a number. Then you take the number you get from figuring out the pattern on the red and blue code sheet and get the name of a city, and that is your passphrase. That is how you get access to the mission. Now, let's talk about the mission, right? If you didn't watch this video, you just spent an hour and a half figuring that out. You've replayed multiple missions, multiple times, scanning every single place for a single dick fuck of evidence, right? So you just wasted all your time doing this. Now you get to play this mission. This better be the best damn mission you've ever played, right? This better be over the top, best Call of Duty mission ever invented out of all this work you just did. Now, this mission fucking sucks. It's dog shit. Literally, you run in a straight line and shoot people, and then shoot a guy at the end of the straight line, and then run back in a straight line. That's the whole mission. It's terrible. It's not worth your time. Literally, go watch somebody play it. It's not even worth doing. And so you can tell I'm already getting pissed off, and we haven't even gotten to the end of the game yet. And so, from there, I guess we've talked about the nostalgia stuff, but I want to bring up one more thing that's just kind of confusing overall. So one of the things they talked about was how they use nostalgia in order to keep you engaged in the game. And this level is the only, I guess, new age, new characters level, if that's what you want to call it, that I actually really enjoyed. This level is really good, but it's not even really an original idea because they had the same type of level. You have to walk around an embassy and snoop around looking for intel and stuff in Call of Duty World War II. So even this, the one good mission that they have that isn't with Mason and Woods, is still a copy of something from World War II, but I think it's done better here, but regardless. So obviously, if you're looking at the screen, you see that I am sitting across from Imrivskayev and Krevzhenko. Now this is them throwing nostalgia in your face to try to get you engaged in the game, because they haven't gave you a Woods or Mason mission in a while, right? And so this does not need to be Zakayev. Krevzhenko makes sense, fine, he can be here. Zakayev is here for absolutely no reason, right? Unless they're either doing one of two things. They're either just trying to mess with you and just throwing them in to throw them in for nostalgia purposes, right? Well, this is them hinting at a multiverse, if that's what you want to call it, of Call of Duty games where Modern Warfare and Black Ops are in the same exact universe, right? And I guess technically that's possible because they've never really overlapped timeline-wise, but essentially, that's what I think they're going for here. I don't think they would throw him in for no reason, because he has no purpose. He doesn't do anything. This could literally be anybody. And so, I really think that they're trying to hint at that, but again, I could be wrong. It would be cool if I was right, but I'm probably wrong. Alright, I just wanted to get to that before we kind of move on to the end of the game, which severely pisses me off. So, the whole game you're hunting for this Perseus person, trying to figure out who it is. And so let me just show you the final cutscene where you kind of figure everything out.
You're the only one who knows where Perseus is, where he'll detonate the nukes. Where is he, Bell?
Comrades, the United States and its allies slowly consume that which is dear to us. Our leaders continue to weaken under this threat. It is the moral duty of Perseus to act when they will not. Soon we will possess an American nuclear bomb. The key to unlocking their entire green light arsenal. Once we control the green light arsenal, we will detonate them all from the safety of Solovetsky.
Gotta admit, I'm surprised. I didn't think they'd recover so fast. We tried everything. Normal forms of interrogation weren't working.
So, I won't make you guys watch this because I kind of forgot that I hadn't gotten to my bugs section yet, and that the frame rates in this game run at absolutely 4 frames per second. But I'll just tell you what happens. So, they do a Mason, right? Adler takes Bell, it's not even a real name, from one of the first missions, and so they kind of brainwash you and make up this fake reality and fake story and all this stuff in order to try to get Perseus' location from you, right? And so I found this. Now, if you haven't played Black Ops 1, you might think this is really cool. I found this really repetitive, right? They've done this with Mason just significantly better, right? With Mason, it was just parts of the story are not the way they seem or not the way they were told. But in this, it's like, no, the whole thing, it's made up. Nothing happened. And I don't really care about anybody here. This game sucks. So, let me try to sum this all up in a easier way for you guys to understand, right? The new stuff sucks. The old stuff is good, but it's barely there, right? It's literally The Last of Us 2, alright? And, except for, again, this KGB headquarters mission, this mission's good, but all the other missions suck. And so, speaking of missions, it's very short, right? There's about 11 main missions, I believe, and 2 side missions, and again, 2 of those, I believe, are Mason Woods missions, so you're looking at 8 bad levels, this one, and then the 2 Mason Woods levels. So essentially, this game's problem has multiple problems, right? It takes old characters and uses them as nostalgia, which I've said like 14 times now, probably 3 different ways in this video, to try to get you to get interested in these new characters that I don't give a shit about, right? And don't get me wrong, I could have cared about this campaign if they would have gave me a reason to, and made it its own thing, but they don't, right? And so, I've kind of come up with a way to fix this campaign. Oh, and before we get into that, all this stupid spy and evidence stuff, don't do that again, that was dumb, alright? The Call of Duty people, including me, are not smart enough to figure that out, alright? Don't put that in. If I wanted to go think, I'll play something else. Alright, just give me stuff like this where I get to shoot a car in a tunnel that's straight in front of me and it flips over and explodes, right? That's what I want to play. That's what Call of Duty is for. But, back to my story stuff. So, kind of found a way that I was thinking about. Again, I played this all in one sitting. This is all I've been thinking about for probably the last 24 hours, 48 hours by the time you guys see this. And I found a way to fix, relatively, the campaign without changing too much. So I'm going to try to explain that to you guys. Again, I'm not going to try and fill every single gap and hole in the story, but just a relative overarching story that is better than this one. Best moment in the game. Alright, so instead of all this stupid, confusing crap, right, the game would start out exactly how it starts out, with that rooftop chase. This guy tells you about all of the people working for Perseus, exactly how the game starts. Right, you figure it all out. This is just with Mason Woods, Hudson, Adler, by the way. None of these other characters, they're not important. And so you get to the point where you figure out that all the people working for Perseus are Dragovich's sleeper agents, and so Adler has the idea to use Mason in order to see if he knows where these sleeper agents might be located. So instead of going through this stupid evidence and code-solving crap, Mason goes through his interrogations and mind control again, and kind of figures out where these people are located. Now, you don't know this, but this kind of messed with Mason when you did this. And so you spend the next couple of levels hunting down these guys, killing them, no problem, playing as Mason or Woods, or it doesn't really matter who you play as particularly. These are just setup missions. And so, again, you just kill these guys. They can be the same exact levels. I mean, relatively boring levels, but for story purposes, it's fine. You kill all of the guys working for Perseus. You get to the point where you go to the KGB headquarters, right? And so you sit down at the table as Russian Man, but instead of Adler and Woods, it's Adler, Woods, and Mason in the basement waiting for you. And so over comms, you tell Mason that, and Woods and Adler and all of them, but mainly Mason, that Kravchenko is at the meeting. And so due to you recently tapping into his brainwashing in order to get the location of all these sleeper agents out, Mason just goes fucking crazy, right? And just blows open the door and just starts shooting through the embassy, right? And so you play as either Woods or Adler, and you're trying to basically stop Mason and get what you need to get out. This kind of takes away that whole stealth intel gathering stuff, and well, like I said, I did kind of like that mission. This would just be much more Call of Duty style. And so Mason's just cutting through everybody, kind of like in Black Ops 2, how you see Woods do when you're going after Menendez, just absolutely slaughtering everybody, right? And so eventually, you just decide that you have to leave him and let him do his thing. Obviously, Kravchenko and Sakayev escape for lore reasons, but Mason just slaughters everybody, and he's doing his thing. So you and Adler go get what you need to get, same as the game is now, and then come back out, get Mason, and leave. So then you come back to the safe house, and you know you're freaking out over Mason and what the hell is wrong with you, your typical stuff, and he just is going crazy, pulls a good old punching Hudson into the TV, you know what I'm talking about, and just takes off talking about Reznov and Perseus and all that, and he's just gone, right? So now you're playing as Woods, trying to find Mason, figure out what he knows about Perseus and what's going on. And so you have a couple other missions, and eventually you end up at the same ending as the game is at now, where you get to the compound and Mason is there, kind of like Rebirth Island. And so no one finds Perseus. Perseus escapes, but you do end up, destroying his compound and completing your objective, stopping the Project Greenlight thing, and you manage to snap Mason out of it. So, again, it doesn't really fill all of the holes, but this one keeps the main characters the main focus of the story, and kind of allows the theme of Mason and the numbers and brainwashing and all that to still be there, but again, focus on the main characters. And so this would, again, even more give you a reason for all this nostalgia stuff showing up. It would allow flashbacks and number sequence stuff and all that crazy stuff, Reznov popping up every now and then. And so Mason swears that Perseus is Reznov. And so here's where there's stupid evidence. So if you don't find all of the evidence in the game, it's like it is now. Now, I would tweak it a little bit, maybe them give you whenever you press select and it shows you your main mission marker, maybe it shows you all of the evidences. You don't have to be scooting around taking pictures of everything on every single mission. And so the whole point of this is that at the end, again, the way it is now, the way the game is now, it's just left open as to who or what Perseus is, right? And so in my version, right, it would be, if you don't get all the evidence, it would be implied that it's Reznov or just Mason's going crazy, you don't know who it is still. But if you collect all of the evidence, you get this extra cutscene with Hudson, right? And so Hudson's sitting there talking about they figured out who it is with this separate team, no characters that we know. Maybe this could be the new team that we see in this game with Bell and Sims and all those people. And he tells them that he figures out who it is. And so they slap a file down on the table, but you don't get to see it. The player does not see who it is. And so they send you on this mission to go kill Perseus. You're in some type of jungle with this team, and you come up to this shack house with the team ready to take out whoever Perseus is. While you're in this little shack, right, you see some dude dive out the window and the shack explodes, right? And so this would be our tie-in to Black Ops 2. So, rewind, and so Hudson basically goes on the mission in Black Ops 2. I'm gonna need you to open your 8-year-old brains. This is a long time ago, or go watch my 50-minute video. And so when Mason and Hudson go to Angola to rescue Woods, Hudson's kind of on his secret assignment in order to take out Perseus, who is Raul Menendez, in his Radio Shack thing, right? Again, only Hudson and his separate team know this. And so Hudson is using Mason trying to rescue Woods as his cover. And so Mason and Woods do their thing, and Hudson, they all do their thing, getting Woods and all that. The same thing, but you're playing as this completely separate team. And right before you're about to go take out Menendez, again, if you play Black Ops 2, you know Mason goes in there, and Menendez pulls a grenade. Mason shoots Menendez in the face. And so after Mason, Woods, and Hudson, all of them leave and flee, your team sneaks into the hut with all the enemies. After chasing Woods and Mason, you're clear to just sneak in there, and you see that Mason shot Perseus, or Raul Menendez, clear in the face. Alright? He shoots him in the eye. You assume that he's dead. Right? So mission accomplished. You return home. And then, freaking, you go back home. You tell Hudson that you did your mission. Your freaking mission completed. You think you did it. And then it freaking opens Black Ops 2 from your downloaded games, and you go play Black Ops 2. Alright? That's my version of the game. This campaign is absolute dog shit. Alright? This might be my least favorite Call of Duty campaign. I'm considering giving this a 0 out of 10. I don't know what to give this. I'll come back to you later. So after thinking about it, I broke this down. Right? So, gotta have pros and cons. Alright, I'm gonna do the cons first, because that's significantly easier. Terrible story. Repeatable story. Use characters for nostalgia. What else we got? The gameplay is Call of Duty. The graphics are fine. Cutscenes run like this. This is not my editing software or my video. This is what the cutscenes actually look like. Every single one of them. Basically, you gotta have $500 for a new console in order to run this game, essentially, the campaign. And even in Zombies, cutscenes, same situation, so I hope you don't like Zombies. Alright, let's go over to the pros. There's more cons than that, but let's go over to the pros. Well, making your character, that's another con. Alright, oh, and dialogue options, that's another con. Oh, another thing that I can't believe I didn't talk about till here, none of the characters sound or even remotely look like who they're supposed to be. Woods, his voice is not deep enough. Mason is not crazy sounding enough. Hudson just does not sound like Hudson. Nobody sounds like how they're supposed to sound. Man, this game really gets me fired up. Alright, we gotta end this video. Alright, pros. KGB mission. The Ural Mountains. The Mason and Woods mission in the snow. Kind of, I'll give them half a point for the helicopter mission, where you fly over the same region and the same location that Mason and Woods are in, so that's half a point. We're at 2.5 points. Yeah, that's all I got. So 3 out of 10. This campaign gets 3 out of 10. This is my least favorite. I would rather go play the Black Ops 4 campaign, and there isn't a Black Ops 4 campaign. So yeah, this sucks. See you guys on the next one.